All right, now joining us on the broadcast, we've got Mr. Richard William Painter, who's an American lawyer and a professor at the University of Minnesota Law School. Mr. William Painter, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on WION. Now, this of course, is a case that is going to grab a lot of eyeballs. John Bolton was someone who was a part of Donald Trump's first administration, but now he has been indicted on 18 counts for possessing and transmitting what is deemed to be classified information. Now, John Bolton will say this is just political witch hunting, and he's being, in many ways, victimized for critiquing Donald Trump and calling him to be an unfit man to be the president. What's your take on this?
Well, I've read the charges. I don't know whether the government is going to be able to prove these charges. John Bolton has a long and distinguished career in civil service. When I was the chief White House ethics lawyer for President George W. Bush, John Bolton was in the Bush administration very active, including as our ambassador to the United Nations. He is an arch conservative, very much of a foreign policy hawk. And he fit the Donald Trump mold quite well in the first administration until he disagreed with the president. Now, the problem here isn't just the Bolton indictment, it's these other indictments of political enemies of the president, including James Comey and Attorney General James, the Attorney General of New York, who successfully brought a fraud case against the Trump organization with a judgment of several $100 million. And the problem is the Justice Department is not using its independent counsel regulations, which are designed for this type of case that's politically charged, where the Justice Department should appoint an independent counsel who is not going to be supervised by political appointees of the president, whether it's an investigation of the president or a member of the president's family or political enemy of the president. The Justice Department should be using the independent counsel statute. And that's what was done in the Biden administration with respect to the investigations and prosecutions of President Trump himself, the prosecution of Hunter Biden, the son of the president of the United States at the time, and indeed the investigation of Joe Biden, the president, for his mishandling of classified information. In all of those cases, independent prosecutors appointed. And that's what the Justice Department should be doing right now to handle these cases, but they're not. And on top of that, we have the President of the United States making public comments about the defendants in each of these cases, attacking the defendants, linking his political attacks to the indictments. And that's something we never had in the Bush administration. Neither President Bush nor anyone else in the Bush White House would ever make public comments about pending criminal cases or criminal investigations. That was a big no-no. As the chief White House ethics lawyer, I made that very clear. No comments on any pending criminal cases. But the Trump administration has abandoned that as well. So this creates the appearance of political prosecution, which is very dangerous, and we cannot have that in a representative democracy.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that this is, in many ways, what is a weaponization of the Justice Department to go against political opponents. But Donald Trump will turn around and say that, listen, I have got nothing to do with this, and the law is just taking its own course. How do you respond to that?
Well, it appears he had everything to do with the indictments in the Northern District of Virginia against James Comey and Attorney General James, because what he did is he fired the prosecutor who refused to bring those indictments and installed a prosecutor who would. And then he went on to social media to talk all about it. So it's very difficult for him to deny involvement with those two indictments. So this indictment of John Bolton up in Maryland, it's quite clear that that there's been some involvement of the White House and President Trump. We don't know exactly what. But once again, I mean, for him to turn around and say he's a bad guy, it makes it appear that he had everything to do with this indictment as well.
All right, interesting. We'll have to see as to how this case unfolds. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. William Painter, for joining us with that perspective then.